again. I'd like to talk today about why some of our hounds seem to find it a little bit harder to get themselves a forever home. The ones that stay with us a bit longer, and we're all really excited when they finally go. There are some out there who just don't seem to have read the PR manual. They don't come and interact with the viewers, they don't want to look at them, maybe they're too busy sniffing or looking to play with other dogs. And for one reason or another, they just don't make that emotional connection with people when they come to see them. And I think that's a real shame, because greyhounds are used to being handled by lots of different people, but not necessarily having a lot of attention paid to them by those people. So they can become a little bit withdrawn and not interact with you when they don't know you very well. But that doesn't mean that further down the line they won't become your best friend. So I always think it's helpful to consider how they are when they're with the volunteers, because they know the volunteers more. How they behave around the volunteers is more of an indication of how they might be when they've settled into your home. They often don't like to make eye contact, because for a dog, looking directly into the eyes is quite a threatening thing to do, and greyhounds are typically very polite. So if you're thinking of a dog that's going to stare at you and beg you to take them home, you may not find that happens with a greyhound, not yet. Some of the dogs are just very shy, naturally very shy, and they take time to get to know you and to get to be their normal real self in that situation. Daisy here was incredibly shy when she first came to me, and you might not think it right now, but she's a proper little madam when she's at home. She bounces around, plays with toys, has lots of fun, and stands up for herself with the bigger boys that I've got, even though she's a little thing. One of the reasons that dogs can find it harder to get a home is also that they have trouble coping with other breeds of dogs. Now, greyhounds have typically not met any other breeds until they come to us for rehoming, and this can result in them being quite scared when they see other types of dogs, because they haven't got a clue what that is, and this can lead to them barking, whining, jumping about, and generally getting quite excited, and we call this reactivity. And quite often with these dogs, we just need to work to help them get used to living around other dogs and meeting them and not having this response when they see them. And this is something I can give you help with as part of our behaviour programme at Hall Green, helping you to cope with the dog and helping them to feel calmer in the presence of things that they find a bit scary. Another thing that can make dogs a little bit harder to home can be their age. People are often keen to have a younger dog, and the older ones don't always go as quickly as the young ones. Now, a greyhound might typically retire at the age of about 4, so when I say older, I'm talking about a dog that's perhaps 6 or 7. Occasionally we might get a dog that's 8, but that's quite unusual. So these older dogs are actually often quite sedate, they settle in very quickly, and they're just looking to have a quiet life, a nice place to sleep, somewhere warm, and plenty of cuddles. And an older dog can be perfect if you're looking for a quiet life yourself, rather than being run ragged by a youthful, bouncy, monstrous one. Now, a lot of people come looking for a greyhound and they say they would prefer to have a girl rather than a boy. And it is true to say that the girls are typically a bit smaller with greyhounds. Boys are typically larger, girls typically smaller. And so if you want a smaller one, then you probably do need to look for a girl. Having said that, don't be fooled into thinking the girls are easier in any way. Boys and girls can be just as easy or challenging as each other. Now, colour is another matter, and many people are keen to have a dog that isn't black. So at the moment there are a lot of black greyhounds around, and this goes back to 1990 when a dog called Head Honcho was born, and he became very famous as a racer and went on to sire nearly 5,000 pups. One of his pups, Top Honcho, was also very famous, and he went on to sire over 10,000 pups. Black is a dominant colour in genetics, and this means that there are a lot of dogs out there now who have got one of either head honcho or top honcho in their heritage, and that makes them more likely to be black. In the future, if there's a really top dog, say, who's brindle or fawn, then perhaps there'll be a predominance of those colours. At the moment, unfortunately, there's an awful lot of black dogs, and black is not necessarily the most popular colour. So when it comes to homing a hound, if you'd like to help a hound that might find it a bit harder to find a home, consider the ones that are a little bit older. Consider one that's black. Ask about the ones that have been with us the longest. And consider a boy rather than the girls. Or of course you could have Daisy. She's a madam.